give us a little bit about the future of NFTs as you guys see it?
Yeah. So NFTs we really see becoming the fundamental building block of the what we're calling like the new internet. Um, One of the really big issues with NFT adoption is larger blockchain adoption, and a big part of that I have my focus is in UX as a product person, and the issue is that people have a hard time using blockchain products because there's no user experience focus in like the first how many years of blockchain. And the way that we get people to buy into NFTs is through making products where they don't even know that they're using the blockchain. And then from that, once people start interacting and they find out that like this app that I love that's like Facebook except 1,000 times better because it's transparent and not stealing all of my data, is on the blockchain. And then they start, that's pretty cool. They're using NFTs to like every time I make a post, it's an NFT, or if I tweet or post a picture, those are all NFTs, and they just become that like foundational element of how you interact with the internet. As Christian mentioned in one of the questions that he was asked, like you can use it maybe in the future to prove that you've bought a car. We've heard use cases like to prove that you've gotten a vaccine, and to do that in a way that is safe and transparent, and you don't have to give up more of your data than you're comfortable with. Like there are so many use cases for anything that you use on the internet that can become NFTs. We don't even really know the half of it yet, is kind of, I guess, how I would phrase it, because people much smarter and more creative than I am are going to come and say, oh, what if we did this? And NFTs are going to be everything, as the way that we see it moving forward.
And so what I really loved about that is that it takes, we here collectively amongst all of us and all these great speakers we have, we thought of the NFTs as sort of, Christian had a wonderful presentation on supply chain management. We thought of, e-commerce applications. We thought of sort of using it as an identity tool. But really, we never thought of it as sort of just tagging human knowledge, which is kind of the way you're presenting it, which is, I don't know what everybody else thinks about that, but I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, the idea that knowledge right now is so limited to either people who can pay for it or people who have like the most access, like academic journals cost a fortune. If you want to read one paper, you have to subscribe to the journal because the publisher is making money off of it, not even the researcher. um, the idea that like knowledge shouldn't be open to everyone like is made on a capitalistic idea that like, well, I have this thing and therefore you should pay to access it, whereas like we all do better when we all have information and we can build off of each other's knowledge and creativity and work together. Like they talk about collaboration being the most like effective tool to create the best things. We should all have access to that.
So we should not be just taping these discussions, but also NFTing them as we go. So
Absolutely. Put it on Koi, and if people want to listen to it later, you'll get rewards when that happens.
I like it. I like it, Kayla. So Evan was one of our presenters from Ferrum Networks. You want to just tell us a little bit about the company and what it does, even as we maybe ask some more questions?
Sure, absolutely. So my name is Ivan Tomic. I'm the director of business development with Fair Network. We're basically a DeFi project that's been in the crypto industry since 2017, catering to various new startups, existing projects, and with various needs, whether it's a particular technology that they're looking for, advisory as well, and incubation of the projects, and as well as pre-sales. So we basically have quite a bit of connections in the blockchain industry, be it, Chainlink, some other ones that you probably know really well. We built quite a bit of white label technology for a lot of projects in DeFi ecosystem. So well known in the background in terms of B2B, business to business developments. In retail, we're also well known with people that actually know us. So supporting community, been there for a long time as well. So we're there basically to make the projects um, their goals become reality, and any of the hurdles that they're coming across, we basically will take care of them. We'll help them get those issues mitigated, or we're going to put them together with the right context to be able to get those things across and get past TG. So we help projects from beginning to TG and past it.
And I think what's really notable about, Fair Networks is that they just
Mhm.
received the grant from Algorand, which was one of the things we discussed in our
Mhm.
newsletter this week. Algorand raising 300 million to invest in the next generation of apps and tools on its network. So this is one of the first investments. But they also
Mhm.
have worked with Polygon, Binance Smart Chain, and Chainlink. So they're pretty much doing interoperable stuff at top levels of the business at the moment, which was really interesting,
Correct.
to have you present all the different ways that you do that. So let's talk about some of the things in this article. Um, we had two well, actually, even has an NFT company on the Binance chain that can help you. It's
Mhm.
called Network, Network, and it will allow you to build a virtual world and do test code in the virtual world.
Ooh, that's hot and sexy.
That's right. So basically, that is a you guys. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the movie Ready Player One. That's basically what that is in actual reality. It's being the virtual world that will be able to be you'll be able to have your meetings in there, as well as build your own world. Right now, we just conducted a large land sale for the actual virtual world amongst different ecosystems and across different chains, and it's been success. Lots of virtual land sold. I mean, we're talking millions and millions of dollars. So in that retrospect. But the most important thing is people that will actually own the land will be able to build pretty much virtually whatever they want. So think about having a meeting of some sort with other people on a virtual basis. You can create your own, place, a building, apartment. It can be an island. You name it. It just depends on where you're at within the actual virtual world. But yeah, the possibilities are endless for meetings, for educational purposes. One of the most biggest thing about it is most people don't really understand is it's actually built not so much as a game, which is it can be, but it caters to developers. So basically, people that are want to use network will be able to create their own mini games within the setup, and what will actually happen is that when people are trying to set up the game, they don't need any coding. They don't need particular learning curve in terms of how the codes work. They can set up the entire game by themselves, build their own, almost like Minecraft, but a lot more sophisticated than that. And the game will actually have or the actual network will actually have NFTs built into it, usability, utilities, and multiple partnerships across the entire blockchain industry. So that is a unicorn that will definitely be out there for you guys to find out soon enough.
So was Network selling the land? Sorry. Was Network selling the virtual land, or were there
Correct.
other companies? This was the
Yes.
Network virtual land sale.
Yes, yes, they had multiple sales. All of them were completely sold out. We're talking
So how
about
do we get in now? Now that it's hot and sexy, now that you make me want it, now that you're making me think, which trust me
sure.
means I've just come up with like 7 unicorns to build on your platform. So now what do I do when I'm like, "Ooh, I
Well,
could put my concert venue
there's
there. I
actually
could move my things over there." Like, what do we do?
Yeah, there's actually quite a bit of different ways you can get into it. It's not only the land, so obviously within virtual land there will be more sales of not only land, but you can buy accessories. Let's say an avatar of some kind that will get you into different areas of the network, meaning that there's certain specialty accessories like avatars that were available to folks that were if they get it they'll be able to get certain accesses to certain regions of the world itself at either a discounted rate or some type of a special pass. So there's different things like that that will keep rolling out as we keep going with the actual project. But the biggest thing that you want to take out of it is the actual majority of the sales are conducted via the token, which is the network token. So if you want to, you want to type in, a network, NETVRK token into Google, and it should be popping up for you in the Google search, and you'll be able to find it as well. But we can share that also after the meeting with several contexts if you guys need that as well.
So,
So
so it is, CoinGecko is the place I would start with to search
correct.
for network.
That would be the safest place, so you
Yeah,
don't get. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. That's
We
correct.
have a lot of issues in this world, unfortunately.
Yes,
But
unfortunately, it's scammer friendly. So we all have to teach everyone personal responsibility,
Correct.
self-reliance, and the ability to do due diligence and make sure on the right website.
Exactly. You can also go to Network, which because we're the incubator, we're the originator of a lot of these projects. So you can search for some of the projects that are on there. You can look at our mediums and posts and announcements. You'll be able to find the projects that are listed and being rolled out as we speak. So
whoever raised your hand, please raise it again. I'll bring you up for the question. Sorry about. All right, so that was the first article. It was really about Algorand investing $300 million, and it was fun to actually have one of the investments present today, and quite an interesting company with multitude of different opportunities for a variety of companies here today. Also, what's really interesting in the NFT space, the second article talks about the fact that OpenSea's volume of sales was down from 4 billion. I think that's like okay.
mhm.
I suspect that's not so bad for the market development. We were looking at total volume sales for NFTs in Q1 was about 1.25 billion, Q2 1.25 billion, and then OpenSea alone had almost 4 billion in August. So I suspect if they had 2 billion in September, we'll be okay. Um, where do you think this next generation of sales is going with NFTs?
Well, I can kind of maybe answer some of those questions. With the generation of NFTs that have transpired a couple of months back and where we're going to, I think one of the predecessors, I believe Kayla, she was mentioning the dynamic kind of NFTs where they're going to be developing their different.
Oh, we lost you even. We lost you.
You're a robot.
Okay.
You're in the matrix.
We got the Matrix voice. Sorry.
Yeah. Are you able to hear me now?
Much better.
Okay, I'm not sure, yeah, what happened, but basically, yeah, the NFTs themselves, they're progressing quite a bit. Currently, what's happening is most of the NFTs started off more as an artist kind of thing, more where people are like sending out NFTs for different sorts of entertainment values or artistic values. The next stage will be, it might not happen right now, but within next year or so. You will have more of a certificate of authenticity kind of NFTs, which will help you, for example, buy real estate or vehicles. You want to think about NFTs more as a certificate of it's basically something that you own that cannot be, it's non-fungible, meaning that you can't break it up. It's basically like if you get your house loan, or like your car loan, and you pay it off, you get a title. It's your title. You own it. Nobody can mess with it. That's really what the concept is behind the NFTs, or at least the unbreakable portion of it. That's the concept. But you also have the ERC 721. You have ERC 1155, which do have different capabilities. So things are changing. Things are being added to these protocols and different token variations. So you'll see quite a bit of variations as we keep going, and the adoptions is being sped up, and so are the changes. So something that took maybe 2-3 years is being changed much sooner. If you look at Ethereum, they had to do an upgrade recently because they just got really killed on gas fees, and people started moving to other chains. So necessity is the mother of all invention, as they say. So as things keep pushing and the market keeps getting hotter, and people are actually competing for their place in the sun, so to speak, there will be more innovations, more better things, and things will weed out by itself. Things that are inefficient will have to go their own way. So
Honestly, I think we're still quite a ways away from being able to have your house deed be an NFT. I think it's going to take a very long time before we can get everybody on board enough to really trust NFTs and think that they have value. And I know that a deed is only a piece of paper, and an NFT really isn't very different from a singular piece of paper. But I still think we're quite a ways away from that. I think the next step in like the step between that is going to be more like personal identifiers. So like a way to, as I mentioned before, verify that you've been vaccinated, or to say like, yes, I am really this artist, and so anything that is posted from my wallet is like genuine art, as opposed to, we were just talking about the scam artists all over the place. The one that comes from my wallet is genuine versus the one that comes from somebody who right click, copy and pasted, and then made their own NFT. And with that, we have developed a decentralized identity system that will be able to hold multiple wallets from multiple chains. So if the NFT artist Kevin Abosh, who is one of our advisors, if he is minting on OpenSea and wants to sell something on OpenSea, but if he's also minting on Koi, you can know that both of the wallets belong to him, and you're actually getting the genuine article.
That is awesome. And can I just say, I love Kevin. He took my headshot like 20 years ago, and all the other
Really?
celebrities. Yeah. So I
love
actually
that.
have several headshots taken by him that I used, in my career.
That's
He's
amazing.
one of my very favorite photographers on earth. I'm so happy to see him in the NFT.
Yeah, he's doing really incredible. Some of the stuff he's like using blockchain in the generation of his work, as opposed to just posting the things on the blockchain. Very wild and interesting things that he's working on. But yeah, so there's going to be a few steps, I think, before we get to having an NFT be the deed of your house, or the proof that you just bought that car, or anything like that.
One of the projects that we have developed, and that might have been in the last conversation, is called Eureka.io. That's the website. If you go there, the actual project itself has already addressed some of those issues, and they're already moving into some of the certifications for real estate and other things. So Eureka is one of the first ones that actually has certified not only an artist NFT. If you guys are familiar with BK the artist, um, they have certified his artwork. Some of the most famous ones that many of the celebrities hold, and so we helped on that end as well. And the Eureka itself is in itself, the background they have a huge amount of also legal help, but they also have a very very good CEO who's well versed in the real estate markets and different things across Canada and different parts of the world. So you're gonna see some things start moving quite a bit sooner than most people think. But I agree with Kayla. Everything takes time. Everything takes time for it to fully develop and to be adopted across the many different aspects. But in any case, you should check out Eureka. They also did the current the first movie based award NFT. So you'll be able to look at that. But yeah, if you go there, you'll be able to look at the news on the bottom, and see how what kind of developments they're doing as well. So
Is
I,
it eurekalabs.io? Because I got some vacuum cleaners when I did
no, it's
Eureka.
Eureka. Well, I'm sorry, I apologize. It's Eureka.com.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. So if you go
yeah,
there, yeah, so they not only do have a marketplace, but the whole inception of what they're doing is they are providing the certification of the artwork or NFT that's been created for that fact, all the way from the originator, and it's embedded in the NFTs. So when you guys buy it, you actually get, and it's going to have a certificate of authenticity that's provided by Eureka, and a lot of artists, musicians have already signed up with them. If you actually do a little more research on it, you'll be able to see some of the quite a bit of movements that they're doing across the blockchain and in the real world. So yeah, I would probably say some things will get adopted much quicker, but they do take time. That's I don't disagree with that at all. So
I don't think we have the right URL for that. Maybe you have it somewhere in the presentation.
it's ureeka.com.
You are
U U and then R as in road, E
okay.
as in
Got it.
Edward, E as in Edward, yeah, Q and then A.com.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm having the same I can't spell issue, but
Everyone is having the same I can't spell, especially when you say Eureka. Those of us from the West Coast are starting with an E because that's how you spell Eureka, the city.
I was
Yeah,
still
So
spelling
yes,
Eureka with an
I
E.
apologize. Yeah, you
that's
should put
okay.
a U. Yeah,
So
if you.
Ivan, I'm going to give you some pretty phenomenal advice right now that if you want to be really successful, you will take it. Just don't even question it, just take it. There is a website called Sociatap, SOCIATAP.com. Get one of those. It's a link in bio tool. You will be able to direct people exactly where you want them to go. You can capture email addresses from that. You can do everything. The other thing is because right now when I go to your Twitter, there is no link in your bio and there is no Eureka. There's no way to spell it. You're making me crazy. Don't make me spell. Don't make me type. I am a huge influencer. I pimp the heck out of everybody on these stages. And
Sure,
if
sure.
I can't click to pimp, I don't.
Yeah,
So
it's
I
not
am just
that.
telling you, this is my lovingly kind bitch slap. Pardon my language. I know we're recording.
No
That
problem.
I am telling you to be successful. I'm going to literally put out a worksheet on before you do a Clubhouse promo, do this first. Like, please make it easy for me.
I would have loved to have that promo. This is my first time on Clubhouse.
I will happily do that, and then you'll have to come back and do it again. You've got a picture up, which is great. You both have party hats, so of course we're all going to be nice to you because if you have a party hat, we know you're less than 7 days old. So we're going to give you that guidance, which is why I interrupted a couple of times to give you the guidance because you are a party hat person, and I want to make sure you love Clubhouse and have a successful engagement here so you stay, because we like awesome people, don't we?
I was just
Absolutely.
really excited that I had one because that's the same emoji that I use like in my Discord description, because I'm just a, party hat kind of lady.
That's so funny. But yeah, it's great. So make sure, yeah, you always have your socials hooked up, and in your socials that you have that link in bio that takes them exactly where you want them. And I like Sociotap. You can look at mine. Mine's old. I haven't even updated it in a couple of months, but you can constantly change it. You can add promo videos. You can do launch stuff. You can get people to opt in. You can drive them directly to your Discord, giveaways, whatever it is you want. But it's one link in bio everywhere, and then you only have to change things in one place.
I really appreciate everybody bearing with us while we get tips on how to use the current social media of the day.
Well, you guys have such awesome projects. I want to make sure that they get promoted properly and that people know how to share them. And the Eureka example is the perfect example, right? I can't spell to begin with. I'm dyslexic. So spelling is already going to hurt me or you.
Yeah. If what I would recommend for now, if everybody's having issues, just go to Ferrum, FERRUM.network.
You're so cute.
You'll be
Ferrum doesn't spell like it sounds either. That's not more helpful.
That's
Nothing
crypto.
spells like it sounds. And
That's
the funny
crypto. What
thing
can
is,
you do?
they got money from the hottest project right now being advertised, Algorand. They
I
have
know, it's awesome. That's what I'm saying. This is
the best
amazing.
company. Yeah.
It's awesome. I want everybody to know how it is and where to get there and go visit, because I already DM'd him. I'm like, let's go. What are we building?
Yeah. We appreciate the input, honestly. That very good advices on a couple of things that we probably want to address. And also in the next time, and especially on this, because I do have a party hat, like you said. On this, I'll be sure to add a couple of additional sources, so you're able to find it easy.
Yeah, because your stuff, I found you, and your stuff is crazy awesome. And you have an incubator, which is even more crazy awesome. And I'm like, how many times can I apply for the incubator? I have like 11 ideas.
As many as you want.
No, I think it's awesome because it's the technology support for many of the wonderful projects that you have, Adrian, and many of the people on the Clubhouse in this room have. Both, Evan's company has been around, for a while, and they built these sort of rails, this interchain operational things on all the top tier chains, and they can help people scale through those, which is awesome. But Kayla's ecosystem is really fascinating too. And then Christian has an amazing company. I have to go back to him for a second. Christian, can you tell us, like, I loved your definition of the NFT. Maybe you can walk everyone through that.
Yeah. So let's see, where should we start off? I guess I can just share more as to what it is that I'm building with my team and I. So we're building an interoperable and utility-driven NFT marketplace to allow for these NFTs to live in the XR environment. So what do I mean by that? Today there's thousands and thousands upon millions of NFTs, scattered through different marketplaces, right? And it's super hard to find a central local point for utility and interoperable driven NFTs. So NFTs that you can, once you buy and you have it on your MetaMask or whichever non-custodial wallet, that can exist in multiple realities. So AR, VR, MR, a Fortnite metaverse, Facebook, etc. So that's essentially where we see NFTs being in the next, even 1 to 5 years. And we want to make sure that we're capturing all of this value. There's a lot of value being lost today, financial and economic value be lost today with just many NFT projects that launch with false promises that they don't come to flourish, right? A lot of these NFTs that are being launched today that have a roadmap, but the roadmap falls through. The founding team doesn't want to continue on building upon the roadmap. So then now you're stuck with an NFT that was once promised utility or was once promised interoperability, and it doesn't exist. So what we're creating is the marketplace, and then we're creating a standardized minting process to ensure that all the NFTs that are minted on our platform as a primary sale have this compatibility and this utility behind it.
Yeah, I was also, I think, referring to that one slide where you say what a non-fungible token is, and you go through like 10 different things that it is. And maybe you can find that and just walk us through it. That'd be fun.
Yeah, definitely. So an NFT is a non-fungible token. It's a unique digital version of a certificate of authenticity, a proof of sale, a proof of purchase, a ledger of ownership, a smart contract, and an innovative receipt that cannot be replicated, lives on the public blockchain, and cannot be interchangeable.
Christian, if you want to host those NFTs, your utility NFTs on Arweave and earn retention rewards on them, I have a place for you.
Yeah, so we're not in the market of developing an NFT. We're in the market of developing a platform where brands and creative artists can launch their NFTs, right? So they go and they build their own business models with their creative teams, around their economic value, interoperability value, etc. And we want them to host it on our marketplace. We want our marketplace to be a trusted source where they're not going to get scammed, just like an OpenSea. An OpenSea today, that the way that they're fixing this issue is through a blue check mark. But if you're new into the space, you may fall into the trap. So we want to ensure that, the type of projects that we allow to be minted on our platform are trusted sources. So we'll have sort of a KYC standard to ensure that no one's getting scammed or sold a false promise that isn't going to come into a reality.
Totally, and I'm totally on board for all of that. I think having a KYC and verifying your users is definitely valuable, especially when people are going to be buying things from them. I'm just saying, if you want the marketplace on top of a platform that already has 10,000 wallet users,
got it.
And the wallet shows everybody the NFTs that they hold, even when they're offline. Like, I got some talking to do with you.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to learn more about the chain, and take the conversation from there.
Totally. And we can also give you a grant. We have a grants program also. So.
Awesome. Always love free money. So
yes,
really
always
looking forward.
Okay, tweet that grant program. I have like 260,000 women in blockchain.
Yeah,
and I'm sure
we're also
a lot
hiring.
of them would want that.
We're hiring, and we want to hire women. Like, our team is sadly not as women heavy as I want it to be, and I'm here for hiring women. So let's.
Oh, well, hook me up. Tell me whatever it is you want. I'll blast it. I am happy to be a mouthpiece for awesome projects. So
amazing.
I will get you whoever you want.
Definitely reach out to you after this so that we can figure out exactly what we want to send out there.
I love this sentiment. Infiom, when I launched it, I was running an angel network that invested in the launch of Ethereum right before Infiom. And needless to say, meeting all the angels that invested in the launch of Ethereum and some other top tier, protocols in the space, they were a bit of a uniform category in terms of who they were. And so I thought to myself, when we launch Infiom, I want to focus on, helping untapped communities get access to capital and access to resources. And what you're doing right here is just that. So I thank both of you for doing that. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we're really here for accessibility and giving access to underrepresented groups for sure. We have a worldwide team. But I definitely want to see more women and gender diverse people on our team for sure.
Christian, can I ask, so what utility is brought from bringing an NFT into the XR space?
Yeah, so there's different utilities today, right? So one of the utilities is, for example, there's metaverses that are existing, right? So like we have Superworld, right? So Superworld has divided plots of land throughout the world that buyers can buy and own the economics that happen on top of the land. However, NFTs today, at least 90% of them are created in 2 dimensions. So these are 2-dimensional NFTs. These are your Bored Ape Yacht Club, your CryptoPunks, Gary V's NFTs. Like, these are all 2-dimensional. So something that we want to ensure is that all NFTs, if they're going to be interoperable with the XR world, whether virtual reality, AR, or a completely different metaverse, we want to ensure that they're all designed through in 3 dimensions. We want to ensure a 3D viewer, because if the physical world is in 3 dimensions, I'm hoping and expecting that the AR world is in 3 dimensions as well, to be able to gather more information about specific objects, art pieces. The possibilities are endless. So that's just one use case example. As to ensure utility and interoperability, let's have NFTs be 3 dimensions. And then we can expand on the utility aspect of it, right? We can create different models, different economic models and vehicles, adding to that NFT. And the way that NFTs are launched today is that the minute that an NFT is launched, it lives forever on the public blockchain, and you can actually continue to add value to that NFT. So now you can have brand management, reputation management. You can continue to add value to the NFT holders via their wallets. You can do airdrops. You can fractionalize the NFT. So I think we're still in the infancy of the business models and the values that NFTs will bring. But what we want to ensure is that digital infrastructure, and we want to make sure that it's right for innovation. Through some of these standardization processes.
Yeah, I gotcha. So what's fascinating about this, and this is a conversation that no one is holding, is that there might be a plethora of blockchains to choose from. So maybe the on-ramp of the technology is, there's a multitude of different options, but there's a massive, there's a bottleneck in the actual file type that these 3D assets can come in. And I think this is something that no one has addressed, and this is kind of why I wanted to talk in this room, is that you're really limited to a GLTF or a GLB. Same thing, GLTF is just graphics language transmission format. GLB is the same thing with B is binary. And this is coming out of the Kronos consortium, who's basically known for WebGL and other open standards. And so you either have that option, or you can do USDZ, which is a Pixar schema that Apple adopted to throw a Z at the end of it. So they were initially USD. Was Pixar. And then what this is basically this is a wrapper for a larger file type that's basically a reality media file type that they're basically leaving intentionally ambiguous because Apple in the back end is working on a hardware product, as we all know. So I just think it's kind of funny because no one addresses this, but this is actually truly where value can be extrapolated, because it's like, okay, we'll just design and engineer entirely to suit that file type, and you actually capture all XR value.
No, I'm glad you bring that up. So that's actually our standardizing, or that's how we would be standardizing the file format. So today NFTs can be launched via an MP3, JPEG, MP4, etc. So one of the standardization process that we're heavily looking into is to create that standardized file format in USD. So we're very, very familiar with that Pixar standardization. That's essentially how Hollywood movies are designed, right, through that USD file format. And then we also have NVIDIA's Omniverse, which is essentially encapsulating that USD file format and partnering up with the tools that are being used to create NFTs, such as Adobe Render, and many other tools. So they're actually creating their own partnership and consortium for interoperability within metaverses. And where we fit in that is we add the blockchain layer to it. So they're already partnering up with Epic Games, and many other industry players, and I'm sure more are going to follow. So that's essentially a strategy that we're looking into, and a standardization process as well.
Right. Yeah. Mainly all of that was not in reference to your specific company. It was just kind of to push the conversation a little forward, because this is kind of sad how I don't see anybody talking about this, in that basically there's a almost like a opportunity that no one's sweeping in to take, which is you don't have to build to blockchain, you have to build to file type, and then you actually interface cross-sectionally across file types for NFTs. And I think this is really hilarious. And I think that either people just don't dig into file types, or they don't care, or they're not doing firmware engineering, or they just don't care. So I don't know. It's just kind of interesting to hear people talk about XR, but there's this huge, glaringly obvious solution. And yeah, that's personally what I was like. Okay, I'm just going to take advantage of.
I think you guys want to look at a project called Babylons, BABYLONS .io, and it's an NFT marketplace I mentioned in my presentation. It's an incubated project that we've done. They've rolled out some of the 3D NFTs out there, and it might be a good idea for you guys to look at some of the solutions they've done, and I can put you guys in touch with some of them if you need to.
Yeah, the irony. Oh, sorry. Okay, the irony of all of this is that it doesn't matter what 3D asset or file type you use as a container, or it is converted into as a file type that's 3D. What matters is stereoscopic displays. What that means is you're receiving two different images based on the depth of where that image, where that graphic is rendered in the scene, quote unquote. Whether the scene is synthetic, which is a VR, people are calling that metaverse, or a synthetic environment like from Unreal, or what's the other one? Oh yeah, Unity, or the real world, which is just AR, right? And that means that your scene is just the world, and then you have to build and basically compile, deploy to real world. So, but none of this matters if you're using a single image with one focal point, one focal depth, and then you need a stereoscopic image to actually see the 3D. And basically, it's the difference between seeing a picture of a roller coaster, seeing a video of a roller coaster, and actually being on it. That being on it is actually wearing smart glasses.
Can I step? I mean,
I
if
got
we
you.
want to keep moving forward with this discussion, that's fine. I did want to ask Christian a little bit about your approach to reputation networks and that sort of side of things. I'm really interested in learning more about that.
Yeah, definitely. What specifically, like how reputation management in NFT is a huge issue. Well, it's a huge issue today in the digital space that NFTs can solve.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, how, like, what is your like approach to tackling that problem, and how, like, what are you implementing currently to get there?
Yeah. So one of our competitive advantages as well is that, you know, I've been in the blockchain space for over 5 years now. I worked with the Futures Lab department at Salesforce alongside the chief future officer, scenario planning for the year 2030. One of my specific industries that I heavily like dove into was like blockchain, supply chain, um, AI, and how our smart cities are going to evolve, right? One of the promises about blockchain was banking the unbanked, right? So this new technology was going to set up this equitable playing field for people in third world countries to now finally enter our financial systems and instruments, um, which is happening today, right? So we have like Cello, a lot of ecosystems that are heavily focusing on third world economies. We have a lot of philanthropy in the crypto space going that route. So that being said, we also want to bring NFTs into, sort of these like SDG economic principles, right? And we want to be sustainable around that end. So, you know, today NFT marketplaces, they're not really giving much back to sort of these ecosystems and places. So that's one way that we hope to give back um, by empowering leaders in third world countries to learn about NFTs, enter the revolution, and enter it at a playing field where we're going to standardize the process alongside with them, right? So that's one way that we're seeing it. Two is reputation management for brands. So now today brands are entering the NFT marketplace just to be a part of the culture, or kind of to fit in this like bubble that's growing, right? They want to be able to say like, oh, we're also an NFT. Oh, we're also like participating in this revolution. We know that's not the case. Most of these brands just throw random NFT out there, or we have someone like Visa that like purchases a CryptoPunk but then doesn't really do anything after. So we actually, well, one, we do want to power this whole like educational conversation, right? There's a learning curve to this, so we want to empower that, uh, sort of these conversations and these thoughts. And then another way that reputation management also falls into NFTs is that you can continue to add value to the consumer that bought uh, X product, right? So we believe that NFTs will be tied to a physical good, and this is essentially like the physical slash digital economy that's going to spur out. We believe that NFTs is going to connect the metaverse to the universe and everything in between, everything that's called space. Um, so yeah, like those are just a couple concepts, and I probably went on a rabbit hole there, but I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, I'm more thinking about like how do you verify reputation and like
Yes.
considering like I know there's a company who we are potentially talking about working with who like if you do charity you get point like if you do volunteer work I mean you like get points or like how do you actually first assess that like a this person is who they say they are without having to use a state ID, which I know a lot of people in crypto are like don't want to, you want to be trouble saying that word today. You want a pseudonym, and so you don't necessarily want to like say like, oh, here's my driver's license, but then also like who gets higher reputation and that kind of thing.
Yeah, so we like as our worlds become more digital, a core value that individuals will have is how they represent their reputation. So either through beliefs, values, associations, to the outside world, um, and NFTs is one way. Well, it's not even NFTs. It comes down to the blockchain, right? So blockchain is a transparent public ledger, right? So you can actually follow the ID and see the purchases. And this is just assuming that we're using like an Ethereum blockchain where we can go on BlockScout and see it, and they're not using anything like ZK Snarks or any of those technologies. So let's just assume, for the sakes of this conversation, that we can actually trace back their purchases, their buys, their sells, etc. That's one way that we can actually, as a community, uphold reputation. And two, it is these Discord communities that are evolving um, out of these digital assets, right? So, for example, um, there's like these DeFi projects that launch this token, and then someone in the community, takes charge of opening up a Discord community and flagging the founder and putting all of this information out on social media and showcasing their Instagrams, their Twitters, etc. Doxing the creator, right? So we believe that this is going to continue, and this is going to, like, transparency is going to be inevitable. So it's, again, this is a conversation not so much about NFTs, but the value that blockchain will bring into this space, and it is that transparency.
Yeah,
Well,
I think one of the things in terms of maybe I can come from a point of building the projects actually, because we have a lot of experience in that. Transparency is number one for investors. Yes, before the notion was that you can be very anonymous and still get your projects rolled out with a large success. That's fine, but it's been changing quite a bit over the last year, not to mention last couple of months. That's pretty much almost a taboo in many ways for people that want to get kind of rich quick schemes. It's perfect, but for people that actually are here for the long term, you have to do your KYC. You have to be transparent. You have to show yourself to your community who's investing in your project and yourself. So you have to have the accountability that this project will hold up not only 2 months, 3 months, but for a long, long time after TG, and that it's going to be successful. So it's very important that anything that you do, in crypto. Whether or not it's actually an NFT or just a token itself. Everything has a utility. Everything has a beginning and an end. Beginning and an end to it, and everything has its place and appropriate place and time on the blockchain in terms of like investments and other things and where you're at. One thing that we learned quite a bit for folks is you have to take things step by step. You have to implement things step by step, and sometimes you have to take a step back in order for certain things to develop better, and then re-engage again. But it's yeah, some of those things. I know it's a little bit changing the topic slightly, but it all kind of comes together because NFTs by themselves are mini projects. Each NFT is almost like creating your own little project and rolling it out. Not what type of utility it has and what's embedded within it. We've done a ton of things from different tokens that are embedded in it that are airdropped to folks to all sorts of different utilities that bring the value to those NFTs in terms of what they are and even what they represent, because every token can have a value depending on what you do with it and how you present it to folks and what you want it to be. So it just has to be thought out well. So
Yeah, so we have so many questions I think left. If you guys want to join us next time in this room, we do this room every Wednesday, 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. with our presenters from the virtual Infiom Salon, with Adrian and Christian and Jeanette and Darren and all of our speakers that have joined us as well. If you have a question, please join us. Ask any question. We also have a very basic Ask Us Anything about NFTs, DeFi, and DAOs room every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m., where Jeanette kind of manages the discussion, and we try to talk about the basic concepts and then entertain questions from the audience. So I want to thank everyone participating today. I've learned so much from all of you. I appreciate the discussion and the sharing of knowledge, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week in one of these clubhouse rooms, and then the following Wednesday at the virtual Infiom Salon. So thank you, everyone.
Woo!
Thanks. It was great to be here.
Thank you, Kayla. Thanks for your contributions.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Thanks, Anna. Bye.